Stream begin. Hello, people of YouTube. This is the YouTube stream. Let's get going. Let's get going. Learning about Trump. We're doing card games. You know what? I didn't appreciate that enough last time. Starts off with a card game. That's perfect. What's better than this? They recognize the supremacy of card games. But more like Based Attorney? Or they turn about Trump? I'm trying to think about the Trump cards right now. What's the Trump card? Is there... We have the aces... I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway. Hello, folks of the VODs. If this goes up as a VOD, hi. You're now watching the recorded version as well. Hi, folks. Watching the recorded version on the VOD channel. Welcome in. It's time for more Apollo Justice. I'm very excited. I was just saying that I'm really happy that this is a card game-based case as our first case. Alright. It is extremely funny that it's 420, I think. I think we did not appreciate that enough last time. Also, is my lighting looking different than normal? Do I look a little too, like, shiny? Let me know. Court will now reconvene. As our witness, Ms. Olga Orley, recovered. Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Oh, base attorney, thank you. Okay, I'm excited. Based on what? Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Ms. Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Okay. Ms. Orley, oh, she's tired. Well, if she would put the borscht down, perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. What? My honest reaction to this information. Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick-Fingers Orley on account of my quick fingers. Really? Want or something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like, oh, really? There. That's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. I'm so glad we didn't do this in the last part of the other stream, because I would have had to keep playing through the whole thing. That would have been bad. Witness, you will tell the court what you're really up to that night. Olga Q. Orley, true. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. What? Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the end of the game. What? As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim? Is this bracelet new? Did I miss it last time? What is happening? How did I not notice that? I'm going through my screenshots as we speak. Hold on. It would be insane. I did just fully miss it. What? Okay. Anyway, bracelet noted. Added to the evidence log. Not that I needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really? You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made for a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt in all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh, really? Oh, really? How droll. What is her name in the Japanese version of the script? But it appears you made quite the mistake. The mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers Orly. Oh, really? I guess we should probably be pronouncing it, oh, really. The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick, bro. Cute? He wants to be cute. I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Bad. Uh-huh. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Witness testimony. The best laid traps. Here we go. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. She almost has DreamWorks face going on here. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was a no-good cheating defendant. Very concise. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Cartoon moment. Alright. Hold it. This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least, that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course. While he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we served borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot he cooked up early and allowed to thicken. She cooked? Why is the 5 of hearts a trump card? Whatever. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. Oops. So everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th case came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. And tell us what happened with the search. The card disappeared? Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone. Without a trace. Poof. Zippo. We searched every nook and cranny. Even inside his cute little hat. No, not the hat. But the card was nowhere to be found, is this correct? Never in my long, storied career, never has Quick Fingers O'Reilly been so readily duped. Oh, really? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Look at me. Oh, just that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant. Let's see. I mean, this could be a 5 depending on how you read this. 6, 4, easily. Okay. Let's make sure we aren't missing one of these backgrounds here. Looks like not. Like a 2 or a 3, probably over there. Alright. So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. Wait. Isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Whoa, what the... What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yeah. Ms. O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You. Me, Quick Fingers O'Reilly, hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw him right hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Ms. Orley, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of the testimony. Oh, I forgot about that. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Well, the music goes crazy here. What the... Whoa, what's going on? This sensation... It's coming into focus. There. That twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Oh, press R to perceive? That's a good one. I like that, actually. Where's the camera? Sorry. There it is. So we can press R to perceive now. How about that? Gotcha! What the... Ms. O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? I realized I haven't popped up the YouTube chat yet. Hold on. Sorry, YouTube chat, if you're here. Sorry, YouTube chat. I know I'm bad about it. Thank you for your patience. Press R2 to hold hands. Oh, that was from that one game, right? We saw on that E3 and we never played. Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? Does she have the card on her? I was thinking this was just a habit. What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. Eternites? That sounds right. Was that game good? It was Eternites, yes. The Steam description is, it's a dating action game where you try to make the most out of life during the apocalypse. So, Persona. But yeah, my impression was that it was quite mid. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but we'll ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Do we? Her habit is scratching her neck when she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night you scratch your neck, I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Wait, what? It is really hard to imagine it's anything other than the bottle. Because the photos don't really indicate anything. It could be a card, I guess? Let's just do the bottle. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. It's Ace Attorney, bro. You should know better by now. But that is, in fact, what this is. What the heck happened there? You're sticking up green hair. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break the breaker. Ms. O'Reilly, please testify in detail at the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight till the cops got there. That is incorrect. That is not correct. Objection. Ms. O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Oh my god. That's incredible. Eek. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. It was Smith. Oh, this is sick. Going back to this is a brilliant move. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Ah! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right, and he hit me. You! Some master of cheating you turned out to be. Eek! When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who it really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who said with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Ms. Orley a big fat liar. What? 3 were in the room the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I didn't... I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What is... Phoenix has really gotten wild over the last 7 years. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's now like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped in the victim's hand after the murder. The one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards are being used. A 4th person. Yeah, this is theory, and your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. Perfect place to catch the real criminal. There's a real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. They weren't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used in the last game were red, yet there's one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. I had that impression too, but why? Wait, what? That was Gavin. Right? Wait, what? We know nothing about Gavin? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. Who is this 4th person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? I'm pretty sure it was Gavin. Phoenix is 33. Wait. She's 20? How long has she been working as a swindler? What the heck? As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo. Yeah, but when you said the cards are blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet, it was only that, a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph? You know even I'd never take a joke this far. Dang. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder. I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection would Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. You think so? Yes, that Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Ms. Orley... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Gulp. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Yes. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was playing this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request Mr. Wright testify to the court. Not too, Justice. You would betray me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin! You were at the bowl club the night of the murder? I dine with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I'd become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir! He's lying and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Because this is Ace Attorney. No such thing. Shame they didn't swap out Pain for Gavin there. Hold it. Oh, I gotta sit up my back. We had dinner with Mr. Gavin. Yeah, he does me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano. Let's see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and stuff on the table were from your dinner? Please let this be a normal trial with the Nick? No way. So true. Indeed, the runs of that meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left after that. 2 hours, damn. 5 minutes after Christoph left. 5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met. I believe I did say that. Here I was, all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. About this failed trap, this is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned. Yeah, it's a harmless prank in essence. By a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might have happened, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. What? I threw the cards out of the bottle. Empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. I have been. Huh. Mr. Wright, the poker out of court number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. Why in the bottle? I perceive my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew it was coming. Wright seems to have been living a very interesting life over the last 7 years. Oh ho, so you struck first, I like it. I know every trick in the book, they don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith is uncontrollable. I'll have to call the police. So you can't see inside either glass bottle here. Can't see inside those. The girl was knocked out cold and so it's uncontrollable. I'll have to call the police. You made the call to the police on the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. So they'll get a signal down the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the day after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. Making the call, I returned to the hideout. And it didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. I mean, you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. And I'll admit, it was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Did you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously got involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Christoph's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Oh, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has got to be in there somewhere. folks, let me go ahead and recharge the old batteries. I'll be right back. Thank you for the patience, gamers. Sorry, it's gonna be a week. It's gonna be a week. Okay. It is gonna be a week. Thank you for bearing with me. We'll be back to normal after this week. Okay. For now, let's get back to it. And welcome back. Okay. I love the fast forward. Okay. So the biggest thing I'm confused about is the bottle right now. Let's present this. Objection! Music stopped. It's a good sign. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. Huh? No. What? Mr. Wright? Surely ellipsis isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came in and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your clients. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. When we looked inside that bottle, there was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, we continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Ugh, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That looks right. So what cut him then? This is such a wild tutorial case. Maybe I'm just rusty, but this is this is heat. Death caused by single blow to forehead. Blunt trauma. It says blunt trauma. A cut on his forehead. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Objection! Nope. L. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. Eh? It does? I don't see anything contradictory. You sure about that? Objection overruled. Try to think before you make the accusations, Mr. Justice. Good move. Okay.
Hold it!
Did we not press this earlier? Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in earlier. Yes, sorry, yes. There are 2 meals set up here. Five minutes after Kristoff left. That all seems to work. My brain is not firing on cylinders. So we have to figure out a couple of things. We can either try to work on an angle towards the card in the bottle. The 5 of hearts is missing. And in theory, and we don't actually know what color suit it was. Is it supposed to be blue? Do we know that? So, it was likely blue. Wait, can we examine the phone? Oh my god, I'm stupid. That's my bad. Wow, the battery's being held on by the piece of tape. He's just buying a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. That's my bad. Okay, I think we looked at evidence. What? Really? Huh, I guess not. Okay, my bad. Middle of the night after all. So they're in the darkened restaurant. I called the cops. Making the call, I returned to the hideout. Interesting, we can't present people here. Oh, I'm very lost. Okay. What do we have here? We haven't done the full, like, methodical... How can I be stuck on the tutorial case? Anyway. It's not the badge. We can give it a quick look, but it's not the badge, right? That's not what this is. Autopsy report between 1:45 and 2:15 a.m. Okay. Does that help us at all? I don't think so. They ate food for 2 hours. That really helps. So, death caused by single blood to forehead. We tried presenting this to this message, which I believe means that that's not the angle here. If that's wrong, awkward. So there's a photo of his forehead. I mean, this is corroborated by this corroborates his claim that he was blood is streaming from his forehead. No blood on the grape juice bottle. Prints upside down is consistent with Phoenix grabbing the bottle to put the card in. So this is the sub-basement with a window. We have the floor plan as well. Restaurant's upstairs on the first floor. I'm missing something. The first floor of the restaurant. Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. It was the middle of the night after all. The darkened restaurant. I'm barking up the wrong tree, I think. Thank you for the offer, Waffles. Or, sorry, I thought you said you could help. Thank you for the suggestion, yeah. I think, I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly, contradicts the, I thought... How am I this stuck? You don't sound very sure, but I may be overcomplicating things. And I'm sleepy. Objection overruled. Okay. No points. That's fine. Let's go to the beginning and press everything again. Okay. Sat next to the photograph. Dinner, Mr. Gavin. We're sat next to the piano. Okay, as usual. Table closest to the piano. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. Remnants of the meal were at... Okay, 2 hours. Christoph left after that. Okay. So I don't think we have anything to do here, right? Like, table next to the piano. Smith is sitting in the chair at that table. That none of that is a problem. We could use the phone on the calling Gavin to note that he didn't say that. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. Okay. I just don't get it. I could be missing something really obvious. I'm looking at all the bottles right now to see if that helps at all.
Objection!
With the bottle again. Okay. I'm so confused. I'm wondering if it's on the items. Looks to be pretty clearly... not that. We clicked on the phone very aggressively. Oh, that is excellent fight. Holy cow. We clicked on the bottle a lot earlier too. This dude is empty. He sat at the table in the photograph. That all checks out to me. I guess the bottle on the table doesn't have a cap on it, is one thing. That seems like I can't point that out, basically. Smith walking in 5 minutes after Kristoff left seems reasonable to me. They have dinner. Kristoff leaves. Phoenix stays. Smith walks in. They play cards. Very straightforward. Seems reasonable. This is the first case. I think I'm missing something very obvious, or I've overlooked something that I set as like a assumption. Like I've made some sort of assumption that is not true, or I'm overcomplicating it. Discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. This is, of course, the weirdest thing we have so far. What the heck is going on with the bottle? There's not a lot of room for red herrings here, I don't think. It's possible, though, for sure. Or it's so true. We can't do anything here. So there is just grape juice everywhere. The detail of the bottle on the table is getting to me a little bit now, because it's conspicuous that there is a specific bottle. I mean, I don't know, maybe they found the cap to it, but it's weird that the murder weapon has the cap when these don't, but again, I don't think that makes sense. I'll never present the phone to this. No, don't think so. Huh. What am I... Oh, huge. So we can push C. I literally want to make sure we're not missing, like, a thing. Okay. Oh, we can't save? Oh, we can't save. Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm feeling determined right now because this is the tutorial case and everything, and I'm like, how can we not do the tutorial case? But I guess my big question is, have I ruled out something I shouldn't have ruled out? I think that's my biggest thing I would like to know. I guess constructing the timeline again. Does this all make sense? How did Kristoff get back in? Is my question right now, I guess. Kinda, okay. But we have no evidence that... So, if there's one staircase to the sub-basement, how did Kristoff get in? Guess it was dark, but he had to have gotten in and out without Phoenix seeing. And I'm just trying to like piece together anything right now. So let's just go over the timeline, right? So per Phoenix's timeline right now, he and Kristoff are having dinner. Sorry for being a little scrambled, I'm still suffering from sleepiness. So he and Kristoff are having dinner for 2 hours. That doesn't matter here. We have no timings, really. Kristoff leaves, and 5 minutes later, Shady walks in. Shady and Phoenix retire to the hideout, play their cards, trap gets set. Phoenix disposes of that before the game starts. Give me 1 second to walk through this, and then I'll let you know, Waffles, yeah, because that could be helpful. Okay, so before the game starts, he gets the card out of his pocket. They play the game, get to the final round, the trap gets sprung, Phoenix doesn't have the card in his pocket. Smith gets pissed and swings the bottle at Olga. At this point, Phoenix goes, yo, this is getting a little crazy, goes upstairs to call the cops. He comes back down, and Smith is dead. And presumably the card's been swapped too. So now I'm confused. So the 5 of hearts was the planted card, right? Made it to look like there was an extra ace. But the king is a different color here. I may be too far ahead right now. I know I've done this before where I get like super stuck on a detail in Ace Attorney, and then like it turns out I've just like jumped 2 parts of the conversation ahead. So this should be about where the card went. We have a blue 5 of hearts that seems to have disappeared. It was in the bottle and now it's not. Why is that? We move forward. Olga being out cold makes sense. Smith uncontrollable more or less makes sense. Phoenix goes to call the police. So why is the deck blue? The hands are supposed to be red right now. And I'm getting too far ahead of this. Of like the immediate thing we need to be finding. I'm also worried I have to do another 3D activity that I haven't figured out yet. That would be really annoying. When I returned, he was dead. I should have the floor plans. You can't really see the... That's when I made another phone call. So he went back upstairs and made another phone call. Where is he lying? Maybe I'm just rusty and or tired. This does feel hard to me though. And if it's obvious to you, I'm so sorry. I need to clarify. If that ever happens, I do understand being frustrated. When you're watching somebody miss something that you are like screaming at them, I totally get the frustration. So bear with me. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm trying to walk through my my thought process here. This is driving me insane because I feel like there's something we're missing. Like that's like fairly obvious. I think barking up this tree is hilarious, but I don't think it's the right tree to be barking up. Sat at the table in this photograph. Is that anything? No. Go again. Mr. Gavin, dinner, yes. Frequently. Usual dinner spot, yeah, as usual. Usual spot, as usual. Justice notes, usual. Phoenix looks to the left sometimes, like even after for habits, I guess. Looked left again for I believe I did say that. So can we confirm something happened between Shady and Kristoff in the hallway? We also have not resolved the locket at all yet, but I think that's for later. I'm losing my mind. Does this contradict that at all? I think we may be running into a noun problem too. Maybe possible that I'm just not understanding the connection that we need to make here. Even if I get the logic of the case, I might not get what verb they want us to use to describe the logic of the case. Read the evidence carefully. Okay, let's do that. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. It says blunt force trauma. Cerebral hemorrhaging. I did present the autopsy report to contradict the bleeding cut on forehead. But that's whatever. Okay. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Okay. Sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon. Mr. Wright's prints on it are upside down. The bottle was empty, didn't shatter, no blood on it. No shady prints on it. It's the wrong bottle. Maybe that's it. Gonna be that simple? There's no evidence seems to like get at that here. We'll keep that in our pocket for later. Photo of forehead. Hat removed during investigation. I believe we presented this. This seems consistent. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. I believe I presented the phone to the last text message. Defendant Phoenix notifies the police from the restaurant's first floor that it happened at least once, and it probably happened twice. The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. That all checks out. Defendant and victim ships when crime took place. Okay, sure. That also all checks out. Victim Smith's hand was left at the scene a full house. So I think this is important, but may not be for this round. Second photo again. Photo of forehead. Hat removed during investigation. Oh. Oh. How is the hat on his head? How did the hat...
Objection!
I'm not getting it. We'll time travel real quick. I am so not... I'm thinking something fairly obvious.
Objection!
Oh, it's one of these things. Okay. Mr. Wright, if I may, take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Okay, I think I even mentioned that earlier. Because it took me long enough. Okay, I did orbit that earlier. I think I just didn't understand the mechanics, which is a thing that happens in Ace Attorney. Good points. Justice. Next time you put an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Eh? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. To call in the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why'd you do a thing like that? All I can say is I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Ms. really didn't see it. It being the victim's or his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin. Or Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems our client is determined to lie his way through the case. He's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. Beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Whoa. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. Believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intended to even ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with the defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Yo, here we go. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well. Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you turned out to be good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? Was it pate? Pate, excuse me. It wasn't you, was it? Me, please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should I come to that? Bone china plate? Didn't you say pate? Not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. So true. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. Okay, let's go back and read that again, because I want to make sure I get it ahead of time here. I am so slow tonight. Okay. He shouldn't know the guy was bald. Basically, if the hat didn't come off until... Yeah, okay, there we go. Dr. Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you. He left the Borscht Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Oh, that's right. I'm using my noggin finally. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Oh, look at how nefarious this is now. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. When I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it, Phoenix? Right. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be our final recess for the day. This is a 3-part case? For the tutorial? Holy cow. Like a double recess. Look at that. What time is it? 2:32. Okay. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Huh? What? Hello, sir. Please, pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand's about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely. The game is yours. That's all. An ace. Where do I remember this card from? I told you I was paying attention, but just paying attention too hard. I overcomplicated everything again. I was looking way past what we need to look at. Oh, it was much more basic than the things I was trying to investigate earlier. So this is the ace from Phoenix's hand. This is Phoenix's ace. Right here. No blood on it when this photo was taken. Notably. There's 5 aces in all. Or this could be the missing 5th ace. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. The Ace Attorney's ace, so true. Do we know who this is yet? I guess let's see if she's in the record yet. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? Nope, not yet. How old is she? I fell deep in thought. She looks much older than I was expecting if that's Phoenix's daughter. As my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Like, that's how old she should be, right? Unless I'm misunderstanding the timeline. Bloody ace added to the court record. Okay, here we go. Oh, that wasn't like actually to be continued, so it's still only a two-parter. I was like, really? A third part? Okay, I just took 300 years. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. Thank you. Red back. Capcom Osaka, Japan, 2007. Court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Holy cow, there he is. Well, then if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will Mr. The witness state his name and occupation? There we go. Okay, nice. Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. That's the damn truth. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I guess he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
What? I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Yo! Oh my god! Oh! Oh my god, the music. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that rules so hard. Oh man. Video games are good, actually. I don't know the names of any of the songs, because I've been horrible about that for the whole series. But, oh, that's so good. Objection 01, thank you. Oh my god, that's so good. What do you think you're doing right? This is a clown court right now. It's amazing. Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something from a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. He's so smug. Not bad, Apollo. How did Phoenix get over here? Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I know the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yeah, and I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally! You may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Let's find out. Witness testimony. The rage I sensed in that man that night disturbed me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout, which I mentioned earlier. See, I am paying attention. I'm paying attention. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. I don't think you could see the whole room from that window. So you witnessed the murder? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. That's why he withheld it earlier. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. That's true. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial's getting weirder and weirder. That's true about every trial. Which is very pogged. Here we go. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. Hold it. That man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say, detected his power level. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job. Of course. But I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. Okay. Alright, let's get this going. So true. The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? All I'm saying is there's literally no way you could see somebody over here. Yeah, it's a relic of the ancient past. The black marketeers used it, I believe. Why'd you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier just to open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you say. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. Huh. So far everything he's saying makes sense. It must have been right after the murder took place. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really? No need to shout, Justice. Ugh. I was just getting to that part of my testimony. Ah, there he is. The coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. It's friends like these who needs enemies. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene. Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. Okay. I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene on the crime for us? A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Oh, I'm getting a little bit lost here with the head. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why did you talk to the police? Two reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my officer was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah, yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question, then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace? Right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. I mean, this is a pretty clear show the bloody ace moment. So now or never. The defense doesn't present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. Oh, sorry. I zoomed in instead of selecting it. My reason is this. Is that an ace? Why? Why? It's got blood on it! Right next to the spade. What? This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing 5th ace? It's inconceivable. How could you... What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card. It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade, after all. Objection! No, impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud. How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who would claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo. And at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, the evidence is non-permissible. Oh. Right, regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. This is so true. The entirety of the first trilogy is about concealing evidence. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection!
This is baseless conjecture. Baseless.
Objection!
No, I assure you, it's quite based. Oh my god. Oh my god. He actually said that. Did they say this in 2007? Oh my god. What? It's amazing, really. More like based attorney. Was based a thing in 2000? When did that? That's crazy. How a single drop of blood on the single card can lead us to the truth. You gotta reach out to the truth. That's quite simple, actually. You said based, and it's quite simple, back to back. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Sightlines? Yo, let's go! In 3D. The murder took place in the hideout, and the body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with the scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit. The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? I mean, the killers doesn't, I think. I mean, this doesn't just... How are we going to get over here? Right? Well, for one thing, the killer's in the wrong place, I think. You think? Mr. Justice, your job here is to not to think but to know. No, just looking at you reminds me of the old days. Not the good old days, per se. That was a good old penalty sound. Oops. Okay, I messed up. I'm sorry. Let's try that one more time. And Mr. Justice, think before you sink. Oh, God. Well, now I'm just confused. What? I mean, that's not where Phoenix was sitting, I guess? Phoenix should have been sitting across the table? What am I missing here? The witness's location is clearly at odds with something. By witness, you mean Miss Olga Orley, correct? That's right. When it comes to cards, it's quick fingers Orley or no one. I see. And... Oh, I was Okay, I got confused. The labeling confused me. Witness, W is for witness, not for right. I'm sorry. Was I supposed to say something else? A meaningful observation would have helped your case considerably. Yeah, do you not sense a great feeling of potential in his silence? Potential for a whopping penalty, yes. Oh, God. Okay. Well, that's enough. I see no need to further prolong this trial. The defense's case is insufficient to overturn the prosecution's claims. This court finds the defendant, Phoenix, right. We failed the first trial. This sucks. L plus you lost the tutorial case. Use for one bow. Alright. This is nice. The resetting kind of sucks. I don't know why I'm so lost tonight. I am tired, in fairness, but I'm moving this week. Give me some leeway. I've been working on that. I genuinely don't understand what they're asking. So the card was in the victim's hand, right? Like, I just genuinely don't understand what they're asking. This is the victim. Is it the... I don't... How do you get one drop of blood on the card, I guess? We're down to the back of the neck thing now? I genuinely have gotten lost here. Isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. Any blood... Oh, okay. I thought about this earlier and I went, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this. Okay. Would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Ah! Take with the photo again. If you bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Wow, that's right. So, what does this mean? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was thinking, when he said in his hand, I thought he was literally holding the ace, and I was like, how does that make any sense? And then I was like, maybe he was holding it to the side or behind him. I don't know. I see where I got lost here. Incidentally, we're sitting in swivel chair. Okay, so that's actually, I think that's fairly misleading, the position. Because like, I'm like, he's of course in that chair. We were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Paulo, try turning the chair around. What the? The chair was facing the other way? That was cute. It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. Mr. Wright returned from informing the police. Which way was the chair facing? If you match the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? I'm bad at this tonight. Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? Well, we'll have to, you know what? We're taking this not as a apology for my lack of skill. We're taking this as a training arc now, okay? We're leveling up as lawyers. They're levying at us harder legal challenges from minute one. Look, we got very into the magatamas and the dialogue picking apart, and now we're doing more diagrams we've done in a while, okay? We gotta get back into the flow of things. Whose location contradicts our new understanding of the crime? So, I mean, the killer could have bonked our boy on the head here. So what is the I don't... Man, I'm so lost. So this is a situation where I'm just like, I don't really know what they want from me. And that's on me. That's on me. I'm a little bit... This is predictable. So of things that come to mind right away, the killer... If that's where Shelly D. Killer is. I guess where's Phoenix at this point right now, too? Unless Phoenix is the witness here. I thought that was Olga, though. I'm confused. Sorry, so if we're arguing that Phoenix is the killer, this is the impossibility here, question mark? I'm so confused right now. What? So at the time of the murder, the victim was already facing away from the table? Which, okay. Why? I mean, the killer would have to be over here then, right? I'm so lost. Which is a skill issue on my part, don't get me wrong. I don't know what would contradict anything regarding witness 2's standing right now. Assumed killer. Okay, that does help. I think it would have to be Phoenix then. Like, that's the thing that comes to mind the most. Why is Phoenix over here? I mean, yeah, like how did the killer... I don't know. Witness 2... I don't think it's our witness. It was either witness 2 or the killer here. Could it not be witness 2 for any reason? Witness 2 claims to... I don't even remember what he claimed at this point is the problem. I've seen not the murder itself through the window. I'm drawing like sight lines. Yeah, it looks like he didn't see the... I don't know. Let's say the killer... Oh, yeah, sorry, I overthought it. I was like, huh? Yeah, okay. Victim was struck from the front, right? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? Would think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim is facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing that we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front?
Take that!
The killer would be standing well here. You get points or flair, but that's about all you get. Ugh. Thought I was onto something there, too. I hardly need to point out the statement that it would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Okay, so we're on the right trail. So the cupboard. Yeah, so someone's inside the cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit them from above? Ha! It's simple logic, really. If this is the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that the very moment of the crime. Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor, what? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. What did he hand him? Let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means Apollo, try moving the cupboard. It blocks the window. That was my next line of thought, so I'm glad I'm on the same page. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Why? Could not have been over here. Now everything's in place to reconstruct this moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh dang. Notice something, Apollo. Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator contradicts what we know about the crime? I think it's the second. The man can't see now. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover the window to the stairs. Ah! That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh. Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Ugh, don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the courts exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is the court of law, and I will have order. We just now received work from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh, and what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? Yeah, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. He did say it. Secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room is a secret passage. Where's it go? This explains the thing I was talking about earlier! So I did notice this. Okay, so I feel smart to that degree, at least. When we were going through all the details of the case, one of the unexplained bits we had was how the hell did Gavin get in and out, and this is how. Other side next to the restaurant above, the underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt, just like our killer. See where our line of simple deductive reasoning led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said you needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. And then the chance came, and he took it. Ah! Eek! Why did you do that? Wait here. I'll get help. Ms. Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passageway and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside, wheeled his chair around to look, and... bonk. After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Kind of. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have had noticed the cards on the floor and the fact that they were all red. Ugh. Ooh, the hair flip. It's a little askew. Okay. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Gwark! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objection!
Oh, I don't need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in with such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. Not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence?
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Doesn't quite sound right for Phoenix, but it's okay. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down? I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason my mom would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how this caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. So if we're given dialogue options, one of them will be that he had to touch the bottle to put the card inside of it. Yeah, just like, what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... No, let me trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be easy to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed. Well, Mr. Justice? Mr. Gavin said the court and this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. A little bit of a justice joke there. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Oh, God. Great. Oh, okay. I mean, so early on, I noted that Phoenix is positioned really well here to just reach down and grab a bottle. In which case, you'd be grabbing it potentially upside down. But that may be a little bit much of a stretch. The bottle's across from Phoenix. How am I so lost in this case? So why is the bottle upside down? The biggest thing I have is putting the 5 of hearts that was planted on Phoenix in the bottle. Gotta do this surreptitiously. He sneaks it into the bottle upside down. We do not have evidence to suggest this. What other reasons could the fingerprints be upside down when you grab the bottle? So I don't think there's any sort of like magic additional boxes here to check out. What else do we have? I mean, this is the closest thing I have, and I don't want to drag this out all night. Let's present this and see if I'm on the bead there. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. I actually did not overthink it. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Now reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair. Ah! See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this. I am a genius. I called this out immediately. Let's go. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles put down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. He was. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order, order, order. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? I may have taken far too long to pick the option, but I did at least call it out early. I feel good about that. Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, Ace Attorney moment. As I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, you may recall I requested an additional investigation. Ah, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What, are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? Surprised if any of them were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why'd you go ahead and examine that bottle? There's gonna be a card inside of it. But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. And bingo! The 5 of hearts, let's go! There's something inside the bottle. What's this? That card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Orley? Yes, our little swindling Devotchka. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. And Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? Yes, indeed. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed where? It was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. The card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. What? He's activating his stand? That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. But what about Edgeworth? Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? No. Mr. Payne, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. I believe this time we finally got to the end of the trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? Or none that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler? An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright. Yes. 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. I mean, let's not stretch the sanctity of this courtroom too hard here. This is clown court. Soon to be literally. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. Twisting of justice brought about by our very own initial trial system. Oh, hold on, we're getting into some of the topicality here. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright? Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, it seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Yay, thank you, Gumshoe. Oh, I just realized, what if we see Gumshoe in this game? That'd be kind of based. Court is adjourned. April 20th, 4:28 p.m., District Court. Defendant Lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. Okay, sorry, I double-checked. The old stream is now up. We can now actually watch the old stream again. You can now watch the old stream. Okay, cool. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. Weird vibe I'm getting. Yeah. What was that, Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. We didn't answer about the locket at all, because don't forget that Shady was wearing it. Huh? Oh yeah, that reminds me. I met the girl with pictures in your locket. Your daughter? Right. That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died, but it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testify. You said that locket was yours. Wait, but that's perjury. This is Phoenix Wright, folks. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away by in handcuffs. Apollo, yes? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I changed my badge, yeah, but I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago, that legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion. He left law for good. You ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. Huh. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. I mean, like, this is as perfect as it gets, right? This is, I'm sus of the Blue King as well, but this is, I mean, I don't know. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The Blue King, right? Yep, the real killer was the only one who could have known that. So caught in a double bind. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really, yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? Damn. So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Ugh. Ugh. I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. No! Phoenix, stay with me. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. About your uppercut. Try yelling, take that next time. I find it packs a little more punch. You know this from Marvel vs. Capcom. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. Yo. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door, and that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day connected by a single thread of logic. Okay, that's important. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. Dang. Case 1, Feeden. That slapped very hard. Only 28% of players have done this so far. I mean, it's only been a few days. That's a little surprising, though. Okay, that was very based. I'm so curious about how this is all gonna work, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So that's clearly Christoph, right? I'm so excited. This is gonna be so sick. That was crazy. Looks like there's 4 cases. Okay. Dang. Very cool. Alright. Well, folks, if you've been watching on the VOD, recorded VOD on the VOD channel, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, there's going to be a playlist over there. There's going to be some channel links. Check those out for more content from me, including more Apollo Justice up there. Link to the playlist down below, as well as to the Discord. Best place to be to get updates on the stream, find out what I'm up to, all sorts of stuff. Discord's the place to be. Hopefully we will see you on there and on the stream, which runs Sunday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Twitch and YouTube links down below. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Until next time, enjoy yourselves. Peace. All right, gamers. That was based attorney. More like based attorney. Really good. Very fun case. This is going to be hard to juggle going forward as we have Persona to do as well, but I would love to do at least this first game as we go here. So we'll probably juggle those for a bit. It's pretty easy to do like chunks of Ace Attorney as well. So we'll pace ourselves. We'll see how much we like. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. It's a little early, but I'm also tired, and it's only it's like a 10 minutes early. So I think rather than try to figure it out, we're gonna end for now. Hopefully I'll see y'all next time. Tomorrow we are, despite me wanting to play more of this, gonna get some more SMRPG done tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see y'all there for that. And until next time, enjoy yourself and get some rest. Peace.